Hola mi gente, aquí con la Margarita, reminding you that on Tuesday on Facebook Live at 7 p.m. I welcome you to Moments con Margarita. Stay ridiculously curious about the you that you are. Cultivate that self-trust by feeding your spirit love, kindness, and gratitude, and nurture your ego so that anxiety and fear has no room in your life. Hola, hola mi gente. How are you? And welcome to Moments con Margarita. Aquí con la Margarita, ya tú sabes. I am happy to be back with you tonight. We have a special guest tonight who is none other than Byron Rockmore, and I'll bring him up in a bit. But let's talk a little bit. I haven't been here for a while, doing things, I've been gone, yet busy reading, writing, learning, and applying everything that is for me so that I may just simply and spiritually be. Okay, so let me ask you something. This is something that I wanted to go into detail, and Byron and I will be touching on various things, 5 important things today. And with that, we feel that not that everybody's asleep. I don't believe that. I just believe, hello, Shamika. I just believe that when we don't push ourselves to remove the walls that we have built around us, then we just see what's placed in front of us. We hear things, we see things, we feel things, we eat things. It's the same mundane mediocrity of a life that we just go and we're comfortable because we're safe. And sometimes we need to pull the safety net away, because when Byron comes on, we'll talk a little about that, but my belief system has always been God, me, and them. Them being my parents, my siblings, my husband, my children. It's being everyone else's them, because I cannot be there for them if I am not for me. And if I don't believe and know that there is someone guiding me, protecting me, feeding me the knowledge that I need to navigate this life, then who am I? And that's one of the questions for tonight. I spoke to Byron yesterday. This all came to be because yesterday we were having a very deep conversation. And he actually said some stuff that had me silenced. And anybody who knows me know not many people can shh me. And he did. And you know why? Because what he was talking was truth. And sometimes we need to hear it from somebody else. We need to be reminded. We need to remind ourselves, who the hell are we? And why are we here? What is our purpose for being? And how are we going to make it so that we can make it in our everyday routines, in our everyday uphill battle to be where we are supposed to be? Because just because you're following your purpose does not mean that life is easy. Anything that's easy is just that. It's easy. And sometimes people will sit and question themselves, why is everything I do so easy? Ask yourself, how much effort? Is it something you should be doing? Is it graceful? Does it bring smiles to people? Is it from your heart that you're pouring out this kindness? Because sometimes easy is just easy, but you're on a hamster wheel. Sometimes you go and you travel this same road expecting different results. And that's what's called insanity. You keep doing the same thing expecting something different. Well, the truth is nobody's going to show up to save you. So what are you going to do for you? You have to learn. You have to have the willpower to know that you were born on purpose, with a purpose to achieve many great things, to live abundantly, to pour forth from your cup onto your children, onto your family. And you can't do that if you are not right with God, my opinion, if you are not right with you. So I would say, let's get started. Byron is getting himself together. So there's some questions. Hello, Shamika. I'm so happy you're on. You know, we are beings of high intelligence, correct? So why do we think, act, and absorb stupidity of our surroundings? Because that's what it is, it's stupidity. Anything that's so easy, you're like, fuck it, I'm just going to follow the crowd because it takes no effort. Stupidity of our surroundings. How have we become persons of doing instead of persons of being within? There's nothing that can happen outside of you that you haven't already pulled forth from inside of you. When your life is chaotic and it's just super fucked up and you don't know what's up from down, ask yourself, how much are you investing in you, or are you allowing other people to manhandle you? When people control you, you just flow. You fall. You get battered. You bleed. They throw a Band-Aid on to pick it up. It's the same shit. And until you pull the reins back and take control of who you are, what you're going to do, what you will and will not tolerate, then you will continue to be in that hamster wheel. So where do we draw the line for believing everything of what we see and hear and not the sabiduría, the wisdom of knowing that we were born with? You don't have to be psychic to be in touch with your intuition, with that gut that it tells you if it don't smell right, if it don't feel right, if it don't look right, it ain't right. And we ignore it because either we're following the crowd or because we heard somewhere that this is good, it's better than just creating your own. It's on and on and on. We're not going to go all the way into that. So we are all created with the basics. All of us are born with the basics, these 5 very important basics. And we are to cultivate them with the wisdom provided to us spiritually. And the basics are hear, see, smell, taste, and touch. So yet we toss them to the winds and then we wonder, shit, why can't I? And then you go, this, that, them, me, who am I? And when you reach that point, girl, celebrate. Celebrate that you've reached that point. Not at this point of you connecting with yourself in such a depth that you actually question, who am I? It doesn't matter how long it took you to get there. What matters is you're there. So breathe, relax, and sit. Because the answer is quite simple. You gave your power away. Let's say it again. When you feel all crazy and your mind is everywhere and you don't know up from down, right from wrong, and you're sitting there in a hot mess and wondering, what happened? Where did I go wrong? Who am I? How did this happen? Because that should be one of the most important questions. How did I allow this to happen? You gave your power away. It's that simple. However it started, it became a routine and less was required of you. And you thought it was easy breezy because you were tired of the dishes and the cleaning and the laundry and the working. And now you gave total control to whomever to dictate your life. So that's why I say you got to breathe, relax. You're going to sit down. And then we're going to give 5 pivotal points on how to get it back. So let's just have conversation while Byron is getting beautiful. Because obviously he's not on yet. So, what does anybody think about that? I know there's 2 people on. I don't know. I only seen Shamika. I got to go on my phone. What do you think, Shamika? People, I can't even get this right. How many times we get up in the morning, we're saying we're gonna make this day great. We're gonna give it our all. We're gonna stay focused. We're just gonna believe that we are capable of doing, and then a little pebble gets in our toe, and then we're like, no mas, I can't do this. We give up, we sit down because it's easy. And so then we got to sit and ask ourselves, why? Why did we think that giving up was even an option? Because what I like to say is, put your big girl panties on and tie those bootstraps so you don't trip over yourself. And every time that you continue, Mr. Byron Rockmore is on. Every time you continue to sell a piece of yourself away, don't be upset when you're shackled. Because every day, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and you're saying something you don't want to say, you're doing something you know doesn't feel right, you're selling a piece of yourself away. So when you're lost or you're put out like the trash, reflect. We're going to go into that now, but I am going to bring Mr. Rockmore up, and we're going to have some fun.
Am I up?
Hello, hello. Oh my goodness, look, this is how long I haven't seen you. Your hair has grown and I chopped mine off.
It looks like it.
How long are you going to allow them to grow? You're just going to have a whole head of dreads?
Yeah. As long as people like grabbing on them, I'm gonna leave them there.
You know what? TMI.
Leave them for the people. No, you asked me, so I told you.
No, but I think we can discern what should be said and what not. Always pull. You're always.
Why is this PG-13? Are you hooked up with Disney? Are you hooked up with Disney Channel or some shit? You know what I'm saying? Spanish people don't do the nasty.
Moving forward, Professor Rockmore.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay. All right. Well, it'd have been nice. I told you, woman, to keep me on point. I'm running around Brooklyn all day.
You know what? We're here to see your words, not your handsome face. We're here to listen to the knowledge that you have to put up. Who you started off with the sexual innuendo, makes me believe, because I know that you have been surrounded by women all your life. So who better to speak about women picking up the pieces, gluing their ass back together, and being the powerhouse they were born to be?
You said gluing their ass back together?
Gluing.
Like with glue?
With glue, a masterpiece. You kintsugi. In Japan, if something breaks, they glue it and then they add gold. And they solder the gold in and they put it all back together. Now it broke because you got the gold in between all the pieces. So you kintsugi yourself into a masterpiece. Because just because you fell and broke don't mean you're unworthy.
Are you a sugi?
Kintsugi. Just go ahead.
I'm asking you a question.
What was it? Did I kintsugi myself? Is that the question?
I just asked you a question. Why you do that? Why you bring something up and then I ask you a question? Are you a kintsugi?
Okay, you know what? I apologize. I didn't hear your question. What was it?
No. That's even better. What did you think I said? That's even better. Oh, I'm sorry. So we shouldn't even be talking on camera at all. That's not good at all. You already know that's not good. So you talk about women picking up the pieces?
I sent you the 5 pillars of self.
Right.
So you have much experience also, and that's why I wanted a male perspective on this, because sometimes a lot of women get let me tell you my perspective on a group of women together. If we're not all on the same level, meaning that we've all put the work in for that self-awareness, then there's always going to be some with a hidden agenda of jealousy, insecurities, manipulation. And they come with the facade that they're inspired to empower and be a tribe. I've been in some of those tribes, so I can detect them. I know, the clothes don't make the person, right? The person makes the clothes. So when a man comes in who's been raised with 6 sisters, you've seen the dynamics of many, all the mood swings of women, and you know which ones are more. I believe, and this is going to be a compliment to you, I believe that because of the dynamics of watching them bloom and grow and the mood swings and all of the stuff, you can tell which one grew into themselves and which one just floundered and caused more trouble to the people around them because of their lack of knowing self.
Oh, I like that. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. When you look at, I could just run my sisters through, or just knowing people and see how they develop. I think, you have, when you don't take the time to learn yourself, you're still going to get lost. No matter who you are, or how, but heavenly minded you are, you're still no earthly good if you cannot come to terms with who you are. So, and even that, I say women, but that's universal. You women have their different pieces, but for me, I'm 53, and I think I could have told you at 25 that I would not be dealing with none of this stuff I'm dealing with at 53. So I'm totally taken back by being 53 and dealing with this stuff that I deal with. So yeah, but for women, I think that, it's so much pressure to be a woman anyway. And a lot of people get mad when I say that, but it is. I mean, guy gets up in the morning, he wipes his face, he walks out the door. Okay, that's not gonna work for a woman. She got to make sure she this. She got to make sure she this. She got to make sure she does this, did that. She got to take care of this. And regardless, whatever going on with her body, she got to make sure that's right. She got to take this. She got to take this extra stuff, this all that. She got to spray. Well, I could just get up and walk out the door. That changes my whole day different than what's going on with you. And a lot of times we don't respect the person's what you got to do to get together for the day. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen my sisters in that aspect. Some of them grasp and they engage, ingratiate, or they absorb the whole femininity, woman, and the journey of being that woman. And some of them just are like, there's a difference between somebody surrendering and being a prisoner of war. And I've seen some of my sisters be a prisoner of war of themselves for for what, 50 some odd years. And if you tell them that they're a prisoner of war, they'll fight you tooth and nail. But a prisoner of war, this is what a prisoner of war does. This is how you can tell a person is a prisoner of war. They a job of a person when they surrender is to surrender. But a prisoner of war, their job is to cause chaos and confusion behind enemy lines as possible. So their job is to cause as much chaos and confusion behind enemy lines as possible. So when you see somebody in a marriage causing chaos and confusion, they're a prisoner of war. When you see somebody in a relationship causing chaos and confusion, they are what? A prisoner of war. So it's not hard to identify those ladies when you have your girl groups and they're Mary, quite contraries in the group all the time. You know what I'm saying? And then listen, I'm gonna mess with you. Remember that time? I never forget when I seen you change. I remember when we had a funeral and somebody walked in your house with dirty shoes, and you went a cuckoo shakanka. Then a year or something had passed. And then somebody walked through and you said something to them, but the same energy wasn't there. That I saw the evolution. I saw a change in letting things go, knowing when to fight. I mean, people say that's a little bit. No, it's not. The little things is what it's all of us. The little pieces is what all of us are. And I'm learning that. I'm learning to the little stuff. So I don't know if it's a woman issue or if it's everybody issue in a sense.
Hold on. Shamika asked the what? What was that, Shamika? Because he said a lot of good stuff just now.
What's Shamika? Shamika?
No, Shamika that I work with.
Hey, Shamika. Mm.
But that's true. It's true, because you know what? It doesn't matter what age we at. What matters is that we reach that plateau where we are willing and ready to evolve as we were supposed to.
All right.
Did we miss years of opportunity because of our mindset? Yes, but then
But they're
they're
only
gone.
missed.
You
They're
can't
only
miss
missed.
what's gone, right?
No. They're only missed that we're not reading the whole book. You know what I'm saying? You know, no chapter is. If your story is your book, only reason why it's missed if you're not going back to chapter 3 and reading it. Okay, if you blur through it, remember I told you about that blind progression. That
Right.
you know that like 10 years of my life was a blind progression. I don't even know how it happened. Don't know where it was. And it's like I turned like 27 and said, "Oh shit, where am I?" And for like 10 years, I don't even remember it. So what I had to do was read the chapters again. So we don't miss nothing if we're willing to go back and read the chapters.
Yes. That's key.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
no, what's key is exactly what you said. We don't miss anything, but we have that. Why is it that we'll hold on to something like I just brought up? That's why I brought it up. I wanted
Mhm.
to hear your perspective on it, because many of us feel this loss. They feel this emptiness of something they don't even know what it was. What you just said. If you don't go back, if you missed it. So,
Read the chapters.
and that's also another excuse to fill in the emptiness, because they're not willing to work to put their big girl panties on and discover who the fuck they are.
Right, and then not who they think they are.
Yes.
You
And
know what I'm
that's
saying? Because it's now with the Instagrams and everything, you see the girls with the half ass and and this and all of this, and so you get kind of confused. And not just women, men too. But for women, again, I say a woman because it's almost like a car. We're all cars, right? A man could be a dirty truck and still get work. Okay, a
okay.
woman has to shine up the car, clean the tires. It's shiny, it's to get driven in a sense. But the man, that raggedy truck going down the street, still gets to work. Okay, still gets to work. It's not fair, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, it causes for different kind of processing. You know what I'm saying? You process differently. And that's okay. I like that women process things differently, because we don't all need to be processing things the same way anyway. You know what I'm saying? I love it for you that I love the way you talk through your process. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad said, when a woman talk, you let him talk, but a man talks, he's looking for a solution instantly. You know what I'm saying? A woman wants to talk. And then she'll probably come up with it.
Why are you saying that? It just made me feel that a man tries to find a solution and we just want to talk through the process. Like, so why did that make me feel a little less than by that remark?
No, it's different. Like if I that's so crazy. You always do this. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not the same people, woman. And then we keep doing this over and over again. It's what's wrong with being a woman and what's
I
wrong
love
with being a man? Nothing. We just do things differently. It doesn't. You don't want a man processing like you do. Okay. You say shut the fuck up. That's what you would, because you're nasty like that. You tell them to shut the fuck up. So what are you? Why are you asking for something you don't even want? Well, yesterday when I was going to school and I was just thinking about the world and I was thinking if it was blue, and you was like, shut up, man. Shut up, hey, shut up, okay? Come on, stop
You
it.
gotta add the accent. Anyway, I get it. I only
Oh.
said that. You know me. I was born a woman, but my behavior is that of a man. So
right. So then that's why you find it offensive, because you straddling one of them tight ropes. But for the rest of the world, they're not doing all that like you're doing. That's why I said some people. Remember, I keep telling you, stop. You are not the norm. So a woman really got to be careful when they're running after Margarita, because it's not the same thing. Okay. Okay. Because right, I mean, like because we're evaluating people and all. Look at all the self-realization and things that you come up with. That's why you have a platform like this. A lot of people are on their journey trying to find themselves. So it's all. I'm always careful when I'm talking to young men because I know what I went through, but what I went through, they better not go through because who said they're going to live through it to even get that information? So I'm gathering data. I'm trying to give you the data so you don't have to go through the same thing I went through. And that's what you're doing with when you tell, with not only women, but with anybody.
I thank you for that. But yeah, I believe that, women are the most powerful species in the universe.
I can go for that.
We are the most powerful. We have the highest um, ability to deal with pain, physical pain. God only knows our soul pain. And my question to you as a man is, why do women forget their place? And I'm not talking about being a queen. When that movie came out about the woman king, and it's like, so we're portals. Everybody talk about, I see a portal, they found a portal. We are the portals. We breathe life. No one else can do that, in the human place. And why do we forget our place?
Explain that.
Women forget their power, their strength. They get married and then they have kids. And I've had many talks and a lot of people that I had to refer to other life coaches because I'm too blunt with it. But it's like they give pieces of their way and they put themselves in the back burner. They become the shadow because they have to be there to support their spouse. They have to be there for their children. And it's always putting someone else ahead of them. And I know a lot of coaches raised us women to do that, to, the household, the man makes the bread and you clean. And then we ended up, we passed some of it down. And then you got some that go from one side of the spectrum all the way to the other. And while they're doing that, or living on each side of the spectrum, they are malnourishing their spirit.
Well, it's a lot of things. You said a lot of stuff right now. Okay. So I guess we go back to the original thing. Are you working off of yourself, culture, family? What? Okay, it's like say I'm just being broad, say for black females. Okay. When you said the spectrum from one end to being
No. The spectrum was from where you become submissive without thinking you're submissive, but
right.
one day you realize I do everything so nobody thinks to see how I am because
Right. So it's like, okay, what's my purpose in a sense? I think that you can be a housewife and still be fulfilled if you're looking for your purpose while you're there. I think that with all this information out now, that everything has to evolve, in my opinion, right?
Okay.
That there's probably really no true housewife because you got to earn two incomes. So, I can't use 1960 wisdom to 2023. You know what I'm saying? Because in 1960, that you could do that then. You know what I'm saying? But in the same ends, 5 years probably before then, I couldn't go my black ass couldn't go to the bathroom. So things have remember. So it's all in the perspective at that time. You know what I'm saying? School don't look the same to me as a student than a professor. It's my perspective and how I'm seeing things and where I'm standing at that time and me being aware of how I'm doing it. So for each woman, I think I think the best thing we can always teach people is that it's your job to be conscious of you in your present.
And how do we do that? Yes. You know what? That's why when we spoke yesterday, you were about to hang up and I said, please, let's do a show tomorrow because your perspective is right on. A lot of women would tell you, you don't even know that. No, but you don't understand. And I tell them, you know what? I don't want to talk to you no more because the only one who doesn't understand is you. And now you're trying to portray your beliefs. I don't force you to believe anything. I'm stating the fact as a woman who
how
has
you see it, your perspective. Right. And if they want to jump on that bandwagon and if
Yes.
they want to drink your Kool-Aid, you saying it's there. I got a whole Jim Jones package for you.
You
But
know,
if they don't, but if they don't want to drink it, then they ain't got to drink it. You know what I'm saying? You know,
they're not absorbing the right or the fruit, the fruit from the proper tree. They're not nourishing their body.
but remember, it's almost like me teaching my sons. I told him I talked to one of my sons yesterday, and he spoke to me. He wouldn't even speak to me, and like I did something to him. Now I've trained him more than any of my kids, and excuse me, uh, people everybody was trying to get me, and he wants to talk to me even less. So then I tell myself, okay, with all of my wisdom and understanding and knowledge, why does this child or some of my kids almost run away from me? So then I have to say to myself, am I being too much? Am I being a good father? Am I being too aggressive? Am I placing my opinion on them? Or am I just so raw? They just need to be real Negroes and handle it. You know what I'm saying? You know what? And all of that, somewhere in the middle lies the truth. Okay. And and only thing our jobs are to do as teachers is to provide the environment for people to grow. We're teachers. So from your daughter, I watch you do it with your kids, your family, even that little boy used to come in and tear up the house all the time, and you say, no, you gotta go. I can't remember his name anymore for some reason.
Mateo?
Yeah, it's crazy. But, yeah. So so when his little crazy ass run through, you stop him, you say no, this and this, and he looking at you and his eyes are shaking because the sugar is running crazy on his head, and his own dolphins, everything popping and shit. He don't hear you, but he still hears you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you talk to people and they are repulsed by what you're saying, when you used to say the magical, pussy, magic pussy,
orgasmic, that was born on Watermark.
Right. When you say that something about your coochie being magic,
no,
that's how I hear it. But see, look, it's all perspective because I always hear it like that. But,
like Shamika, we said about fruit. She's like, I love to eat watermelon.
See,
they don't even grow on a tree. But anyway, Milagros.
That's so stereotypical. She must be black.
Funny.
Anyway,
she need to do stand up. Is what she need to do, Byron.
Yeah, she's funny.
She's funny.
She's funny. She's funny.
You with that dry humor, that dry wit, that interjection when you least expect it, and you're like, yeah, that's.
Look, when you hit them, screw them. Yeah.
But yes, so I get that because that's happened all my life, and it's okay. The thing is, when you know how I can be argumentative, I can be opinionated, I do everything. And all I want is to give you the rope for you to.
But right, but remember, we talked about people lying to themselves, right? Your passion allows you to get upset when people do that, and you hear it. Like when you talk to me about when I told you about, we talked about my marriage, and you got on me, and I ain't talked to you for 2 or 3 weeks after that. Okay. No different than a person who's an addict who comes and say, you know what, things are not really that bad. And I said, well, you're in a treatment center and you just got chased by 5 cop cars, and then your mother, threw all your clothes outside. Your wife is burning a cross with your name on it. Your kids don't want to speak to you. And you shitted on yourself in my office, and you smell like poop and liquor. Well, if you hadn't brought me in the office right now, then I wouldn't have had this shit in your office. You see how? And now somehow this is turning on me, but you did it. Mm-hmm. So I think that that people just sometimes they struggle with being honest with themselves. So they'd rather blame, minimize, rationalize, and do every eyes besides dealing with me, which is you. So all thing you need to do is keep putting that fertilizer out there. It's gonna catch. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna catch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because people are gonna lie to themselves. Sometimes I know in my life I had to lie to myself to get through things. You know what I'm saying? I had to lie to myself. I told you when I remember we was talking about the guy with the one leg who robbed me. You know what I'm saying? You know, I couldn't tell nobody the guy with the one leg robbed me. I couldn't. If I had to tell, who was I going to tell? That a dude with one leg. Oh, anybody listen? I mean, I'm just tripping. if he had one leg and he robbed me, I couldn't tell nobody. So I told you. I told you. I told everybody it was 10 guys because it was easier for me to lie to myself than to tell the truth. But I keep telling you about a lie. A lie run to you and through you.
That's it.
And if you say a lie long enough, you believe that shit. And it was real for me. So when somebody told me I was lying, that they knew that it was a man with one leg who robbed me, I wanted to whip his ass. But it was true. It was just a dude with one leg. You know, so yeah. So lying to yourself is kind of, you feel it's okay after a while, even though you know it's not true. So you know, so we do that. I did it for how long? I stayed married for a while, and I knew I needed to do something different. But the lie sounded better than dealing with that truth of it.
And then when you heard the truth, when the truth was spoken to you, how did that make you feel?
It hurt. I know it didn't make me feel. It made me feel anger.
Yes, that's what I was.
The anger was my first reaction because the audacity for someone to identify it. And no one has a right to identify my anger but me. And if I'm not willing to identify it, then you shouldn't either. Mind your effing business.
Mm-hmm.
And it was real. And it hurts because once you come to realization that it's real, now two things need to happen. I always said, like, going to prison. Prison does two things for a person. Either it makes change them for the better or the worse. Nothing else. There's no middle ground. Like, he's in prison, but he's okay. And no. Either he's changed for the better or for the worse. So when you hear the truth, either it's going to change you for what? The better or the worse. And I choose it to be, now I'm choosing it to be for the better. But you know what? I have to go back. Being 53 and starting to read my whole book, my back book that my friend promised me she was going to help me with, but for some reason she always gets too busy to help me with my book. And by now we could have been rich because we could have did 2 or 3 books together, and then that would have been how she would have helped her life by helping my life, and then that's how it would have catapulted her on stage there with me talking about the books, and she would be a multimillionaire right now. However, she just wants to get messing around with Carletti Von Vivas and magical coochie. So and then she doesn't help her brother out.
It's you know what, you gotta we talk about this all the time. It's timing. You know, there's a time.
So what are we gonna write this book when we go 75? It's gonna be corny. Okay.
Now listen. So I emailed you the 5-piece inviting pillars. What is your perception of it? Somebody reading an article that I wrote and your thing. Now the 5 of them, I'm gonna read them out loud, and then we can talk about it. One was feed your spirit, the potential of kindness and gratitude. The second was nurturing your ego, banishing anxiety by facing your fears. The third one is my favorite because it was something I had to come to terms with late in life as well. Realizing that, yes, I was abused by others, but I was my own biggest bully, is love your body and embrace your perfect imperfection.
Explain that one.
How?
Use your own biggest bully.
Well, because being molested and raped had an effect, right? When I was raped, I was 19. I was very curvy, thin. And then for many years, I dealt with a lot of weight issues. It would go up and then it would come down. And I noticed when it was up, I felt safe. Nobody in my mind found me attractive. Nobody would want me. And so, but when I would lose weight, I would feel like, oh, step aside because I am here type of deal. And then I would get in my comfort zone, and then I would hate my body. Oh, look at this gut, look at these thighs. I hate this over here. My arms are starting to gain their wings. And for years, I would just bully my body. I would look in the mirror and squeeze it and hate this, and this is ugly. And so my body didn't know what to feel. like, because the body keeps score. It keeps score of your unhealed trauma. See, we try to heal our traumas and our chaos and pain here and here, but we never think to heal this. For every touch, whether it was good or bad, the body keeps memory. So when I self-isolated, I wasn't eating any different. If anything, it was a little less, but I felt that I was gaining weight. And it wasn't until after traveling down the Healing Boulevard of my self-isolation that I realized that I was healing all of this, and the body was confused. Like, what are you doing? What we went back, we visited that place that hurt us. And so it was a lot now. So now it's, loving my body. I wake up every morning and I kiss it. Good morning, beautiful. How are you? And I remind my body that we are safe. We are safe and no one's going to hurt us. And it's okay to let go. The armor needs to come off. Sorry about that, Jackson. So that was that one. And then you got...
That was good. What's wrong with Jackson?
I don't know. Let me see. Oh, there's a dog in the back. So then you got the healing. That's the self-love. And then number 4 is unfuck your thoughts. The master art of evicting negativity. And with that, I did a lot of research on that. I read a lot of stuff from different people. And the only thing that kept coming up was, if you get a negative thought, replace it with 2 positives. And then I'm like, okay, replace it how? Because are you evicting that thought, or are you just covering it up with the positive, which then the positive is going to fester? And we'll talk about like the feeding of the soul. And the last one, which is something we all need to do, is to sit in peace and invite your power back.
Go back to that last one again. I mean, the one before then.
Unfuck your thoughts. The master the art of evicting negativity altogether. If you're having a negative thought, ask yourself why. Why is this coming to me? Why am I feeling this?
Well, instead of saying why, what's going on with me in a sense? You know what I'm saying? Because why are you getting to blaming yourself? So, so what? What's going on with me? What's up? And then I would tell everybody, for the most part, I think studies have been done, and you can do homework on it, that humans are so negatively prone for a lot of things that our first response to mostly anything is negative. We have to train ourselves to have a positive thought. When somebody cuts in front of us, we like, mother, and then we go. Somebody say, you know what, I don't like that. And you say, well, I'm gonna give them a piece of mind. Somebody says, you look like this. Or even when you give them the money, you say, oh man, I look like. So we have to train ourselves. When you was hugging yourself and you kissed, that was training.
Yes, it was.
You was training yourself, because your first impulse was to be negative to yourself. Okay, was to find a way to protect yourself by any means necessary, even at the point of harming your overall mental well-being. For the overall protection of your essence, you abandon every damn thing in a sense. So we have to know this about ourselves, that we have to train ourselves to have good thoughts. And it's our job.
Though, because I know that you've read that. There's so much out there, and there's some good.
How do you do it? By what we're doing. You feed your soul. You feed your mind.
That's what I wanted you to bring.
Okay. You feed it. You are what you eat. That means if you're listening to bullshit all day and you're putting all that craziness in the computer and you're talking around negative people that drain your energy and they're unhealthy in conversation, man, I know the most wonderful, gorgeous, sexiest, hottest women in the world. But they've been tainted. They've been around people who have abused them so much and been so mean to them that they don't even know it, and they're just venomous, and they don't know it. because they're so not self-aware. So, wow. So yeah, you have to train yourself to say, yo, you know what? I gotta be mindful of my thoughts. I gotta guard my thoughts. I gotta guard my soul. I gotta tell myself. I was doing this thing with Joel Osteen, was taking 30 seconds, 3 minutes every morning to, praise God, just to have Thanksgiving, to be focused for 3 minutes every day for 30 days. I didn't never, every time I get to like 15, I lose it because it's a discipline issue of training yourself to be nice to yourself. It's a discipline issue. Because it takes not a lot of time, but then it means consciously I have to be aware of me, and I gotta be a human being rather than a human doing, which you taught me that. So yeah. I like that one. Unfuck your what?
Unfuck your thoughts. And I'm gonna submit the article with this, but it's like people don't understand that feeding your spirit it's
It's work.
it's not expensive, and it's effort, it's discipline. Feeding your spirit, kindness and gratitude are the two main ingredients of the food you will feed your spirit with. Because if you deposit kindness and gratitude every day, you will gracefully encounter every obstacle, every burden, every negative word or action gracefully.
Let me tell you, you reap what you sow.
All day.
Okay, and
No
then
doubt.
me and my father were just talking about it. Some people was calling me about something about properties and this and that. And then I asked a family member, like, oh no, they was talking about another person's insurance policy, what they should do with it. And I just said, yo, when you got it, when they got their policy, how much was you paying on a premium? They said, what you mean? I said, well, if they had insurance policy on their family for the last, our family member for the last 15 years, and they're getting the money for it, how much did you pay on the premium? They said, I never paid on the premium. So I said, so why are we talking about what are they going to do with the policy? Because it's my cousin and they should but no. I understand that. But when they had to pay the premium every month, right? How much did you pay on the premium? Nothing. You reap what you sow. So I said, if you said you put nothing in,
You get nothing out.
out.
You don't. But a lot of people don't want to hear that, because I've said that to a lot of people. But you know what? I'm not here to save the world. I'm here to plant seeds of wisdom. I've known that since I was a child. I show up. I always walk my truth. You take me as I am or walk away. But I always try to be kind to everybody I meet.
Mm-hmm.
To save myself from catching a case, I will smile while you're giving me dirty looks, because I'm grown now. We ain't all into that street stuff I grew up in. I'm not living on survival mode anymore.
Bridgeport.
There you go, the port. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why, to me, going through my self-isolation, this is where this article was born. And it took me some minute, because I did a lot of the research. And everywhere I've researched, they all tell you to kill the ego.
Mm-hmm.
The ego, it's no good for you. And if you allow me, I wanted to read something. It says, kindness and gratitude are a dynamic duo that can work wonders for your spirit. When you practice acts of kindness and embrace gratitude, you create a positive feedback loop that generates more of these uplifting emotions, resulting in a happier, more fulfilling life. So begin by expressing kindness towards yourself and others, and watch how the magic unfolds. You're not a sellout. You're not a punk. When you're raised on survival mode, you're raised ready to fight all the time. When somebody gives you a compliment, you automatically believe there's an undertone to that. Well, okay, what do you want?
Right.
It's never nothing that was meant to be. Growing up, it was survival. And you either turned out how the people who raised you were, or you fight like hell to get out that bucket. And you're always on the survival mode that you forget the courage and the strength it took you to claw yourself out of that bucket. You fell, you indulged, you partied too much or this, that, but you're here now. And the thing is that it's not, that's what I was saying. Everyone, as long as you have breath in you, you can flip that bitch and be kind. You can be kind. You can be grateful. You can agree to disagree. What I won't put up with is abuse, is bullying, and is somebody lying to me. And you know that. Those, I can walk away from shit and let you on your own. But my boundaries for that, it's just, there's some stuff I can't walk away from. There's some stuff I have to learn how to observe. Let me tell you, we had a conversation yesterday. Shamika, listen, we had a conversation and we're talking and he's telling me about myself, Byron was. And that movie, The Book of Eli, came to mind. I love Denzel in that movie, but I love the message in that movie. And he had a fight to protect this book, right? And there was one point where he saw these bad guys approach a couple and kill them to rob them of their books. But before he did that, he was going to go and he's like, no, I can't. It's not my battle. It's not my battle. He could have saved them, but his mission was different. And that's how it is with all of us. We can't save everybody. I cannot save everybody. But I'm a fight like hell to make a difference somewhere because that is my purpose in this world. That is why my spirit exists. So am I going to get trampled on? Yes. Am I going to get wounded? Yes. Am I going to feel pain beyond what I should have? Yes. Am I going to put myself in a situation that maybe if I thought it through and it didn't work on what you call sympathy, there's a possibility that I'm going to fall, but I'm going to always rise. And the thing is, I will reap what I sowed. And because I want goodness for those around me, I try my best to be good, but I ain't no angel. Go ahead.
Nothing to say. I mean,
Well, because you are the same way. You are, look, tough, Brooklyn born and raised, came to Florida. You did what you have to do. We met how many years ago? You were best friends with my husband. May he rest in peace. All of that. We've known so many people together. We've met people from each other's side,
just lost my friend.
Our friend.
Our friend.
And, and so we can be many things, Byron, even today. But we choose to be the best we can be because people are watching us. Because that child that doesn't want to speak to you now, he's still watching you.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And then, you know what I love? Is the opportunity that God gives us opportunities to fix things. And then I keep hearing that the tests are going to keep coming to me until I pass the test. So before I wasn't aware that there was tests. Now that I'm aware that there's tests that I need to, and you've let me know the tests that I need to pass. And actually, I'm like on a 85. You know what I'm saying? I'm not 100. I'm 85. You know what I'm saying? But
how's that?
Hey, it's just this journey. I think I think a lot of us make it more arduous than it need be.
I know you don't like to question why.
What makes it you want to say why? I'll say what. What makes it?
What you just said. Why is it that we are our own worst enemy in our thoughts, in our feelings, and
then the first thing I ask myself, could I get out of the whys? Is I says, what makes me do that? I cut right through that. Because that why lets me run in a circle. Okay. The what makes me go right to that. Say that
out loud.
Whys run you in circles, especially if you're a liar. Because then you can find a why to fix it anywhere. Why? Because mother said this. Why? Because my daddy did this. Why? Because of my why? Because I'm too fat. Why? Because I'm too skinny. Why? Because what made you do that? Like the Jackson kid, we say, why did you do that? Why did you steal a cookie? Oh no.
And what
No.
does and the other one was the
What?
what?
What just happened here? I don't know. The cookie's in your hand.
So the what holds you accountable?
What has accountability in it? At least it cuts down on the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I like what, especially dealing with I used to deal with a whole lot of like recovering addicts or people who wasn't trying to be in recovery, who just was okay with being addicts. I said, so what makes it okay that you up in here? Not why you in here. What makes it okay that you up in here? And they'll say, because if I say why, they'll run me in circles in about 4 hours. But I said, so what makes it okay that you in here? And that stops it. Now they got to say, well, it's really not okay that I'm in here. But it's okay that I'm working on in treatment while I'm here. See how that tone changed? Well,
Yes.
I said, well, are you working on treatment while you're here? What? But why? No, I didn't ask you why. What are you doing while you're here? Well, I am. See, I'm trimming the fat because
Yeah.
I'm so good at running myself in circles. I gotta find ways to stop me from lying to myself.
All
Because
day.
because
Look at you saying that.
it's comfortable for me to lie to myself and keep on with the shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, rationalization, minimization. You know what I'm saying? I can do all these things that I've learned over the years to hide and to be in plain sight and not be there. To be that ostrich with his head in the sand and his ass way up in the air. You know what I'm saying? I've learned that over the years. And so I'm learning, and I've got people around me that's accountable. And I know that even in relationship wise, since coming off of being divorced, I gotta be careful not to be mean to people now. And I have to be careful not to abuse women who like me now for fear that I'm gonna like them and get caught into another relationship. So what I'm doing is right, I'm Mr. Runoff right now. So I'll run your ass off real quick so you don't like me. And then I have a few chicks who's like, yeah, you'll get over it. And after you deal with your own issues, I'll see you when you get ready. Whenever you get ready, I'll be right there. Enjoy. You know what I'm saying? I don't like them. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather them like hang up the phone, unplug it, and go away.
Well, do you think that we have to remind ourselves that we are a work in progress until our last breath? Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We have to remind ourselves, but I don't want to.
Who reaches perfection?
Right. But I would rather think that at a certain age, the perfectionism will take place, and then I wouldn't have to do so much work.
I think that at a certain age, we should have introduced ourselves to ourselves in that wisdom space within us to know right from wrong and the sometime maybes. And we don't allow ourselves that. It always has to be mushy for some reason, because then we always want to have something, people, places, and things to blame it on. And I think, yes, that accountability, awareness and accountability are such strong words that seem to have left the vocabulary in these last 3 years.
Because the price of awareness is awareness.
And when I work and I see management who have no accountability and don't hold no accountability to anything, and that puts me in a bad place. So what do? You either build a tolerance for it, ignore it, or you remove yourself.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to go
but still serve your purpose while you're there.
While I'm there. See, that's the operative word. While I'm there doesn't mean I have to stay there. I think my purpose has set.
When Jesus went into the temple and everybody was doing all kind of corrupted stuff, he chased them all out. He didn't stay there. Okay, so you got to do what you need to do while you're there, and then you move on. Reasons, seasons, and lifetime. You're not
Watch
there for a
it.
lifetime. You're there for a season. Enjoy the season. Remember when I went on that bad football team that lost every game? When I said I was going to play football at 39, and that team lost every game before I got there, and then in 1 year we won every single game but the championship game. Okay, and then after that I stopped. It was for what? A season. I had a wonderful season, and while they lost every game, I stood right there while they lost every game. Okay, and watched it, and then I'm like, I'm not doing that with these fools. We're gonna win. So it's like, what do you do while you're there? I can't get caught up into every place I've been to had bad management when I got there. So two things I said: either I'm going to stay in this bad management, or either I'm going to stay at this job, or I'm going to get rid of this job, or I'm going to change that job. And if I'm not going to be management, what can I do in the level that I'm at? So if I'm mopping the floors, how can I change this job by mopping floors?
Be the best floor mopper there.
With a smile on my face, showing
Are
love
you?
to everybody, doing my thing. And then when I leave, I'm gone.
Doing the little
Yes.
things that make a
I
difference.
can't let them keep renting space in my spirit because I got too much work to do. And while you're there, you're still doing the work of your higher power, your God, or whatever you're doing. And you got to do the best work while you're there. If a child comes in my presence, I'm giving them the best work as a father, even if it's not my child. Don't got to be my child. When the child came in my presence, he was my child at that point.
Amen.
So, I gotta go. Because we're gonna be. I gotta go because you're gonna have me in for 2 hours, girl. Huh?
It's been an hour. I'm gonna read just the 5 things, and then I don't know when's my next day off, but I'll keep in touch. And for those that are on, Milagros and Shamika and Al, welcome Al. I'll put it up earlier for that. But Byron kept touching on something that's so like, woo. It was a seed of wisdom my father planted in us long, long ago in Spanish. And it was nunca te engañes. You don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. The world is going to lie to you. Don't you participate in lying to yourself. So, that's what we have to do. We have to stop lying to ourselves. And we can go into detail on the next show. The second one is never give up, no matter what. And that's what Byron was just saying. Be the best you that you can possibly be in the eye of the storm.
Well, let me say this. You can give up, but just do it for a day. Do it for 2 days. Listen. No. If you want to tell yourself you're giving up, go ahead, lie to yourself. Go ahead, do it. But then don't just stay there. See, people give it. Oh, I give up, and then they don't understand. Just because you gave up for that minute doesn't mean you gave up. Stupid. So if you say I want to give up and that makes you feel better, it's gonna lay on the couch, say I give up, and just pass out. Get your big ass up later and say,
and never giving up. It's like embracing your true potential is a lifelong commitment, right? Much like that gym membership you signed up for but never used. But unlike the gym, you cannot afford to let this one gather dust. So lace up your sneakers, pull up your big girl panties, and get ready for your marathon. And it's not about, it's when I quit, I'm quitting, and that's it, because it's my decision. It's something I've decided. It's something I'm going to live with, and I'm going to be A-okay because.
But let me say, people got to be careful it's like, because I fast. So and your brain tells you, it talks to you a lot when you fast. You really find yourself when you fast. Because as soon as you eat something, your brain says, well, since you ate, you might as well keep eating.
Yeah.
And then you say, really? It says, hell yeah. You done already fucked it up.
Start tomorrow.
Yeah, start tomorrow. See, now what happens with me now, I don't stay in that state for long periods of time now. So when it tells me you ate, so do it, start again next week, I say, oh no, here you go again. Yeah, I ate today. But I won't eat in the next hour. So whatever I ate now. So what I'm just saying, that never give up, you got to almost train yourself to do that too. Because if you don't, then that never, see, sometimes never. I stay away from words like never, no, over, everlasting, and things like that because it's so long and it seems so far off. We don't
Out of reach.
associate it, out of reach, right? So I'm not gonna say like never use drugs again, just for the day, just for that minute, just for that hour. So get it real. So I won't eat. It's 8 o'clock now. The reason why I wanted to get off because I can't eat after 8. That's
Oh
why I
my
want to
God!
get off.
Bye-bye.
No, too late. It's 8:08.
It's okay. You
You
should have
killed
said
me.
something earlier.
Now
You
I
should have.
can't eat until 12 o'clock tomorrow. Sugar.
It's all right. Any prolific words you may want to share in
I
closing?
give up.
You know what? It's always about endings are sad yet necessary.
I'll be wasted away by tomorrow, but that's okay.
You be good.
But you listen. Thank you for having me. Wonderful to talk with you. Yeah, always love you. I always tell you to be nice to yourself.
I know. I love myself.
Yeah.
When people are like, when are you gonna date? I'm like, why? I'm in a committed relationship with myself.
Right.
Total in love, total respect, total honor. It took me a long time to get here, and that's what I'm trying.
Right. Well, you know what? Whoever's there for you will be there for you when it's time.
And I ain't rushing it.
Right. Don't. No. When it all happens,
me and my four personalities are good right over here.
It'll happen magically. And it'll be good. So that's why I'm not rushing it. You know what I'm saying? You know, for me, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna chill. And then, you know, I'm just chilling. So I suggest that for you, I don't suggest anything but to tell you thank you. And I appreciate you and thank you for having me on your forum. And to anyone who's listening, God bless. Be safe. And I'm out.
You're out. Okay, mi gente. For those that came on and for those that will watch later, I hope you enjoy. I hope you got something out of it. And sometime next week, we'll be on again. We'll be popping up like slut magic as usual. So until then, mi gente, remember,
wow.
breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Peace in the Middle East.